aquaculture. Currently, it's the world's fastest growing food production industry, and soon it will be the source of more than half the seafood eaten around the globe. It's important to be sure that the farmed seafood we consume is safe and sustainable. Farmed aquatic species are not only products of the environment in which they live, but also of the food they eat. To ensure their seafood remains healthy, fish farmers use a scientifically developed fish feed, key ingredients of which are fish meal and fish oil. This mimics the natural diet of the animals and ensures that the farmed seafood has important health benefits. Encouraged by the aquaculture supply chain, fish meal and fish oil producers have taken the initiative to demonstrate and increase responsible practice in sourcing and supply. Supported by their trade association, the International Fish Meal and Fish Oil Organization, or IFFO, they have introduced standards for raw material sourcing, food safety and custody. Before explaining how this standard works, however, let's take a closer look at where the manufacture of fish meal and fish oil fits into the overall fish farming industry. Here, we can see the entire value chain for aquaculture. It often starts right here, back with the fisheries. They provide wild fish for the fish meal and fish oil processors, usually small, bony fish which reproduce rapidly and have limited markets for human consumption. Inside the processing factory, these fish are cooked, pressed and dried or refined into fish meal and fish oil. The majority of the fish meal is then transported to a fish feed factory. Much of the fish oil also goes into the feed, but there is a growing market for human consumption, notably in fish oil capsules. Once at the fish feed factory, the fish meal and fish oil are mixed with other ingredients such as soya meal, maize and vegetable oils to produce the optimum feed mix for the species of fish or crustacea that eats it. The finished feed is then purchased by fish farmers, who use it to grow species such as salmon, pangasius and shrimps, as well as many others. The farmed seafood is then bought by fish processors, who supply shops and restaurants. They, in turn, provide us with the seafood we all enjoy. As well as being produced from wild fish, the fish meal and fish oil industry now produces more than 25% of its output from recycled raw materials, which include byproducts such as bones, skin and tails from both farmed and wild-caught fish. However, the rapid growth of aquaculture and its increasing demand for marine ingredients has given many causes for concern as to how these marine ingredients are being produced and where the raw material is coming from. Therefore, maintaining and growing the industry responsibly and ultimately sustainably is a key concern for all members of the supply chain.
The Marine Conservation Society is concerned that the future of aquaculture industry relies entirely on the responsible production of fish meal and fish oil. Specifically, some of the critical concerns that we have with bad practice when it comes to manufacturing fish meal and fish oil would be things like untraceable fish, so not being able to identify what species of fish are actually going into the production of fish meal and fish oil, mismanagement or the unregulation of those feed fisheries, catching endangered fish. Because we see our role as ensuring that the aquaculture industry grows and develops and operates in the most environmentally sustainable way that it possibly can.
It's very important to marine harvest for us to know where the ingredients for our feed come from. If we can absolutely guarantee that these ingredients are coming from responsible supplies, then that's good for us. It's also good for our customers and for consumers.
The factories need to be able to demonstrate to their customers that the raw material that they bring in and the way in which they actually manufacture the products are done in a responsible way that produces safe and pure products. So in 2007, IFFO decided to set up this standard, but it was important that it wasn't just the producers who decided what was responsible practice. So we had farmers, standard setters, we had retailers, fish processors, and some environmental NGOs joined us round the table to decide what it was that made a responsible fish meal and fish oil standard. So the intention of the standard was to have something that would independently measure the responsible practices of a fish meal and fish oil factory. And so the factory has to be able to demonstrate that it has a raw material buying policy and ensures that the raw material is coming from responsible sources. And then the factory then has to be able to demonstrate that it has full traceability throughout the factory and that the factory itself has a good quality management system that ensures the purity and the safety of the products that come out the factory gate.
Marine Harvest is very supportive of the IFFO standard because we feel that having a standard like that says a lot about the integrity of supply that we've got for our feed.
Companies like ours are now increasingly wanting to ensure that we're not just interested in the farm, we're interested in right at the point source, in this instance the sea. Good manufacturing practice, hazard analysis, a very important principle for us. It's critical and incumbent upon us as an industry to demonstrate to our consumers that what they eat is safe and we're not plundering the planet whilst we're actually providing them with that food.
Sainsbury's have an inherent responsibility to our customers to provide them with sustainable food. When it comes to fish, and in particular farmed fish, that responsibility extends all the way from the farming process all the way through the value chain to ensuring that the wild fisheries that supply the fish meal and fish oil for feed are responsibly managed.
Uptake in Peru has been particularly strong. Most recently I was in the Far East in Russia where the Russians heard about the standard for the first time. I've been in Beijing in South America. The IFFO scheme has been a critical part of enabling our industry to demonstrate that what we're doing is going on the journey towards sustainability and we are responsible in what we do.
It's absolutely vital that aquaculture is fit for the future because when you look at the pressure on agricultural land today, it's clear there isn't a lot of room left to feed 9 billion people by 2050.
The IFFO Responsible Supply Standard has been widely adopted by producers, enabling major fish feed companies to specify certified fish meal and fish oil. In turn, processors and retailers can now insist on their farmed seafood being fed safely and responsibly. The final goal is a fully responsible supply chain, ensuring safe, high-quality seafood well into the future. IFFO has put in place the first link in a fully responsible supply chain.